Hello, everybody. Today we are taking a free lecture on the IELTS. So please, if you have any questions, ask them here. Today is for the tomorrow's test. So feel free to ask any questions you like. Okay, I will be waiting for your questions. So please start asking. Okay, I'll start explaining something about the IELTS. Firstly, I think most of you have done the speaking test. This is number one. Number two, you are going to have the the listening first. It will be around 39 minutes for 40 questions about the listening. There's a question by Rimati Ali. I don't have exam, but can I attend? Indeed, you can attend. Okay, and you may ask questions if you like. It's for everybody. Yes, please. Rimati Ali, you may ask me any questions you like about the IELTS. Please feel free. Do not hesitate asking. Okay. So, the reading. The reading will be the second skill you are going to take. It will be 4 parts. Each part will be it will be 40 questions. It will be divided into three passages, three texts. This is what you usually have. Two of them will be 13 questions and one of them will be 14 questions. 40 questions, you need to answer them within 60 minutes. That means 1.5 minute for each question of the reading. So you will have several skills to answer the reading. Firstly, you will have the heading. Secondly, you will have the choices. Then you will have the information to which paragraph they are related to, and you will have the true, false, not given. I just want to mention one thing here about the information to which, sorry, about the information to which paragraph they are related to. Please pay attention to something called MB, nota bene, which means a note, a notice. That means they will write for you here something that you may have. You may answer something like that. Sorry, just let me make sure of it, of the precise writing for it, and I'm going to share it here. Because this MB is really important. I'm going to share it with you here in a minute. Okay. Here it is. For example, here, answer questions 1 to 7 by writing the correct letter A to H, MB. This is the most important thing which I want you to notice here. You may use any letter more than once. Okay, you may use any letter more than once here. It means that the answer could be sorry, your answers could be, for example, for 1 you may choose A, for 2 you may choose B, for C you may choose for 3 you may choose C. Then you go back to number 4, you may choose A again. Yes, it's okay, because they say you may use any letter more than once. That means you don't have to use all the choices, and any choice could be repeated more than once. Twice, 3 times, it's okay. So please pay attention to this point. Okay. Ali Moss says, God bless you. God bless you too, Ali Moss. Okay, Mr. Ali, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Do not hesitate asking any questions related to the IELTS, please. Okay. Let me explain more about the reading. Headings. How to find the headings. Read the first sentence. If it has the main idea, that's it. Do not continue reading, because continuing reading will mislead you. So if you don't have the main idea, read the second sentence of the paragraph. So if it matches any of the headings, that's it. Do not continue reading, because the heading, 99%, you will find it in the first or the second sentence of the paragraph. And we usually find it in the first sentence. If you continue reading, it will be misleading for you. Okay. This is number 1. Okay, we have a question by Rimati Ali. There are so many types of listening, like photos and life cycle. What's the most common one that is so important and usually come in the exam? Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. or Miss Rimati Ali, that the most common questions in the IELTS listening are, you have mostly the maps that are usually repeated in the questions. And in the maps, you will have a map, and they are not going to tell you the precise thing respectively. No, they are going to give you the description of them. I will show you an example here. If you just give me a minute, I will show you an exercise from Insight into IELTS in a minute. Okay, I'm going just to look for it to show it to you. That will take me a couple of minutes in order to share it for you, to let you see and explain to you an example here. This is the most common why, especially recently in the IELTS test questions. Okay, I'm going to share it and explain to you the why they do it. Here, please. Here it is. For example, you have this map, and you have those questions about it. Here in this map, they don't start from A. No, they may start from B, C, D, or E. What they do is that they describe the directions for you. For example, if they say here, coming from Moon Crescent to Marble Street, turn right to Port Lane, turn left, and you will see the school, a circular building on your left hand across from the dance center. So they are describing B. So you immediately go to B and write school. Then they might go to D, for example, instead of C. You don't listen to the questions respectively. This is what usually happens in the listening of the map. Also, there is another way of the map. Here, you have here the words car park, domestic terminal, lifts, regional terminal, and you have the letters you have the letters here from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. They may start with anyone, with any of them. They may start with B. They may start with F. That depends on the way they describe. Here, you don't write the word, you just write the letter because you already have the the words. You just need to specify their location. Okay, I'm having another question by Yasser Hisham. Could you re-explain the answer, please? Okay, Mr. Yasser Hisham, which answer do you mean to re-explain it? Please tell me. Do you mean the headings? How to answer the headings? I'm waiting for your reply to my question here. If you mean the headings, I'm going to re-explain it in a minute. Okay. We have another question by Iraqi professional. Says that his English language is weak and he needs to improve it. That to take 6.5. That depends on the level of your language. Please, Mr. Iraqi professional, send me a message to my Facebook account, and I will send you some questions in order to know your level of the language. After that, we may discuss that. Okay, okay. Let's go back to the question of Rimati Ali. Okay, the other way is that in the listening, you need to focus on some specific points. I'm going to share the points with you here in a minute. Here, I will share them here. Tips for the listening. But before explaining them, I just need to tell Mr. Yasser Hisham, I'm going to re-explain what you asked me to after I finish explaining this point. Mr. Yasser, thank you for waiting. Okay. Here, tips for listening. Here it tells you what to focus on. What to focus on. You need to focus on names. Names, that does not mean only proper nouns, does not mean only names of people, could be names of people, names of books, names of streets, names of anything. Anything has a name you need to focus on. This is number one. Number two, you need to focus on numbers. That does not mean only dates. It could be a mobile phone number, it could be a street number, it could be an address, it could be a price, it could be also a date of meeting someone, or a date of anything, or an appointment, or could be also, as we said, mobile phone number. Another thing about numbers I want you to focus on. Sometimes you ask about a price on one thing, or you ask about a price of both. So they tell you one piece is, for example, $20, or they may tell you $20 each. That means if you have in the gaps, if you have both, that means 20 multiplied by 2, which means you need to answer 40, not 20. Focus on this point. It's a way of deceiving the candidates also. You also need to focus on adjectives. Adjectives, any adjective. For example, we have good and we have bad. Those are adjectives. We have also other adjectives like the colors. The colors are adjectives too. For example, you have page, you have a cream, you have turquoise. They are adjectives too. You also need to focus on the places. They mention a name of a place with the spelling of it usually. Could be a name of a district, could be a name of a university, could be a name of a city, of a country, it could be a name of a continent, of a mountain, any geographical place. Okay. Also, you need to focus on materials. Materials, what is that thing made of? We have cotton, we have wood, we have iron, we have also brass, we have copper, we have zinc, we have those things also. Please focus on them. This is what you need to focus to, these things and what they are related to. What they are related to. And I want you to listen to a professor on YouTube. Here I have just highlighted his name. His name is David Crystal. Please listen to this professor, David Crystal, and focus on the points which I have just told you about, because the speed and the accent, also the dialect he uses, is almost similar to the questions from 25 to 40 in the ask listening. It will improve your abilities of listening. Okay, now let's go back to Mr. Yasser Hisham's question. Okay, in the headings of the the IELTS reading test, you need to read the first sentence. If it matches one of the headings, it usually carries the main idea. So you don't have to read the rest of the paragraph. But if you don't find a main idea, read the second sentence. You will ensure find it. 99% you will find the idea in the first or the second sentence. Please don't continue reading the paragraph. It will mislead you. It will mislead you because you will have some contrasts here. You will have some contrastive sentences. So that will mislead you. Okay, the first or the second sentence, follow this technique and your answers will be 90 to 99% correctly. Okay. A question by Rimati Ali. If I have one letter wrong, they will cancel my answer. Yes, they will do. If you have if you have a misspelling, that means mistakes in spelling of the listening, your answer will be wrong. Yes, they will do that. If you have one letter should be capital, for example, a name of a hotel, for example, let's say Ritz Hotel, the R and the H should be capitalized. If you write one of them in a small letter, it will be a mistake. Yes, they will do. Okay. More questions, please. If you have, do not hesitate asking. Feel free to ask, please. Do not hesitate asking any question you have about the IELTS, and I am ready to answer. I'm still waiting for your answers. Okay. Still waiting. Okay. Feel free to ask, please. Thank you, sir. You are most welcome, Mr. Yasser Hisham. Okay, let me go on explaining. We have another. Okay, I'm having questions. So can you repeat the headings by example? Okay, we have Rimati Ali. Okay, I will do. I will repeat the headings by an example here. I'm going to share an example. I will share it in a minute. I'm just trying to find a suitable one for it. Okay. Okay. Here you have list of headings. And here is, for example, you have here, the reading passage has 8 paragraphs, A to A. Choose the correct heading for each paragraph from the list of headings below. There are always some extra headings that you don't need to use. Here is the list of the headings. Here you have an example because this is a book for training. Okay, what you do first is to read the list of the headings in order not to lose the time. You need to have a look on them. For example, one, benefiting from an earlier model. Two, important operative conditions. Three, examining the public confusion. Four, where to go from here, and so on. Then you have here in this book, you have A is given to you as an example, paragraph A, and the answer is 10x. In the test, you don't have to write all the words of all the sentence. You just need to write the symbol of that sentence that you choose of the heading. Okay, let's come to paragraph B. Because of its isolation, Esperance is not linked to 15 Western powers grid, which supplies electricity from gas, coal, and oil-fired power station to the widespread population of Western Australia. Let's reread it. Because of its isolation. So, this one is giving you a reason. So, it answers a question in the headings here. So, let's see. Because of its isolation. So, here, if we read benefiting from an earlier model, no, it's not suitable. Important operative conditions, we don't have any conditions here because conditions we usually have depends on, relies on, or you have some conditional sentences. Examining the public confusion, there is no examining for the public confusion here. Where to go from here? Where to go from here means what's your next step? What are your plans for the future? We don't have any plans for the future here. How it's all linked up? We don't have any questions related to the linking, to the connections of Esperance. How a suitable location was found. It does not talk about how a suitable location was found, does not talk about the conditions of the location. Comparing wind speeds in Australian cities does not talk about that. Matching operational requirements with considerations of appearance does not talk anything about views. What makes Esperance different? More than just a source of power. So if we come here, what makes Esperance different? Because of its isolation. So in this case, the right answer is what makes Esperance different. Why? Because this heading, this sentence answers this question because of its isolation. So that's why we chose it. And this way is called comprehensive. You usually have synonyms or comprehensive sentences related to the headings. Okay, let's see. Sama Salim, what should I listen to improve my listening? Also, I suffer from the reading. I can't answer any, sorry. Any tips? Yes, I'm talking about the tips of the reading. Now, I've just explained briefly the tips of the headings. Okay, we have another tip for the reading. True, false, not given. True, false, not given, or yes, no, not given, they have the same idea, by the way. When you answer a true, false, not given, for example, if you have the sentence and you can see it with your eyes, okay, that means, and it gives the same information. So in this case, the sentence is a true. If it gives different information or wrong information or opposite information, the sentence is false. If it does not give anything related to the sentence and the text and the text and the paragraph, so in this case it will be not given. In The true false not given. Do not deduce the answer, please. Do not deduce it. Okay. We have every answer by Rimati Ali. Every answer should be in one paragraph, right? This is for the headings. Yes. This is for the headings. Yes, you are right. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Please, any questions about the reading? If you have questions, feel free to ask them. Do not hesitate asking them. Okay, everyone? Ask, please. Feel free to ask, please. Ask about any tip about, let's say, any skill that you can't understand. Ask me about the reading, ask me about the writing, about the speaking, about the listening. Feel free to ask, please. And I'm ready to answer your questions. Okay. I'm still waiting for your questions. Okay, I'll start explaining writing. I'll explain the essay. In the essay, we have to write an essay that is divided into three parts. The first part is what we call the introduction. The second part is what we call the body, and the third part is what we call the conclusion. In the introduction, how to start the introduction? I will tell you the best skillful way. We have several ways. Nobody can decide which one is better than the other one, but there is the ideal way to write an essay, especially for the IELTS. You firstly paraphrase the statement you have. Paraphrase means rewrite it in other words. Then after paraphrasing it, write in my opinion. Then you write your opinion with one or two reasons. This is the introduction. Then after the introduction, you come to the plot, which we call the body. You need to divide it into two paragraphs. It's better to be divided into two paragraphs. You may write it within one paragraph, within 10 paragraphs, you are free. But the best ideal way for the IELTS essay is to divide it into two paragraphs. One paragraph to be with your opinion, and the other paragraph will be the opposite of your opinion. Which one comes first, you are free. After that, you write the conclusion. In the conclusion, you start it with, in conclusion, you rewrite the statement that you paraphrased at the beginning, but you need to re-paraphrase it. After that, there is some sentence we write it to increase your mark here, to increase your score, to increase your points. We usually say, having weighed up the pros and cons, I'm convinced that you restate your opinion with the reason. In this case, you will take a very high mark. This is the ideal way of how to write the essay for the IELTS. Okay, I'm having a question by Rimati Ali. If I know the information from the entire paragraph, what should I write? True or false? Look, if you can't see the information with your eyes written in the text, do not write it true or false, just write not given. For example, if there is a paragraph, we are from Iraq. If there's a paragraph explaining about Iraq and does not mention that Baghdad is the capital city of Iraq, but in the questions, in the statements you have, Baghdad is the capital city of Iraq, do not write it true. We all know this information is correct, but it's not mentioned in the paragraph. You can't see it with your bare eyes. So don't write it true. Don't write false. Just write not given. It's just like that. This is the true false not given. Okay. Okay, now. More questions, please. Feel free to ask me more questions. I'm still waiting for your questions. Just a reminder, Mr. Iraqi Professional, please send me a message to my Facebook Messenger, and I'm going to send you some questions. You will answer me them, and I will tell you your level of English language and what you need precisely. Okay? Okay, please. Others, okay. Please give us general important note about listening. Okay, I will repeat the tips for the listening. Just a minute. You need to focus on those points in the listening. Names, numbers, adjectives, colors, places, materials. Names could be a name of a person, of a car, of a book, of let's say a street. Numbers could be a date, could be an appointment, could be the year that somebody was born in, the year of establishing some book or whatever, or institution, or a university, or building something. Could be a mobile phone number, could be a price of something. Adjectives, any adjective. Colors, all the colors. Places, any geographical place, could be a city, could be a country, could be a district. Materials, what is that thing made of? This is what you need to focus on and what they are related to. Okay, Mr. Yasser Hisham. And also about the what we call it, the maps. Don't forget the way of the maps. They usually don't start with A or B or C or D. No, they start in let's say not respectively. We say not in order. Okay. Sama Salim, is skimming and scanning good or not? How can I use these skills? Yes, you need to skim and scan for the reading, indeed, because you need to look for the similar information or for the synonyms of them. For example, let me just share you something here. Just a second. I'm going to share something here and show you. Okay, going digital. We have here a true, false, not given. For example, if you have here, digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Okay, this one. What you need to do is to skim and scan to find the information for this point. Let's see. Electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. Okay, luckily we have it here in the beginning. It says electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. Pale here means primitive. So in this case, the sentence is true. You may continue reading to make sure. But the game will not be easy. All over the world, libraries have begun the Herculean task of making faithful digital copies of the books, images, and recordings that preserve the intellectual effort of humankind. For armchair scholars, the work promises to bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that, okay, there is here, by skimming and scanning, we could find here another sentence to prove our answer. The present internet may seem amateurish in retrospect. Amateurish here means it's primitive. So in this case, digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. So in this case, number one will be true. Okay, you need to skim and scan to find the information that we are looking for, especially for the true false not given for the gaps also. Okay. We have Ahmed Sobhi, Mr. Ahmed Sobhi. Hi, everyone. Hello, Mr. Ahmed Sobhi. Okay, we have Rimati Ali. What's the meaning of labeling in reading? Okay, labeling and reading, just like in other words, just like skimming and scanning to specify this word or that word in order to depend on. Okay, that means it's better to skim and scan to look for the information, Rimati Ali. Okay, look, let me tell it to you in other words. Each trainer has his or her own way. Some trainers depend on a way, others depend on another way. Some others depend on another way. No, some trainers, no. They depend on their own ways that are based on some, let's say, some linguistic things. Okay? So labeling for some trainers is very important. For some other trainers, they don't depend on it. They depend on skimming and scanning. That means depends on looking for the information that are similar or written as synonyms to the answer, just like what we have just done. Okay. Okay. Others, any more questions, please? Feel free to ask. Do not hesitate asking. Okay, still waiting. Still waiting for questions to be answered, sorry. Okay. Do not hesitate asking. Feel free to ask. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for your questions. Yes, please. Well, okay, so far we have given some tips about listening. We explained briefly, or let's say we gave some hints about listening, about reading, about the essay. If you want to ask questions, do not hesitate asking. I'm waiting for your questions. Feel free to ask them. Okay, Rumati Ali, in speaking, is it important to answer the second question like narrative story? You mean the second part? Yes, you need to do that. You need to do that. You need to answer the questions of the second part and explain a bit about them. By Sama Salim, I need more vocabulary in order to answer reading. What should I read, please? Magazine? Okay. Sama Ali, Sama Salim, sorry, Sama Salim. Let me tell you something. I'm having around 54 sheets of paper on my Telegram channel. They are about vocabulary, and some of them, a part of them, let's say, about grammar. They will increase and improve your vocabularies. You may just go to my Telegram channel and you will find them. Okay. Others, some are saying they will be very beneficial for the IELTS. Believe it. Okay. Others, any more questions? Still waiting for your questions. Feel free to ask. Do not hesitate asking. In 2 minutes, if I don't receive any questions, I'm going to finish this lecture. Okay. Those who have the test for tomorrow, do not hesitate asking any question. If it is simple question, if it is a difficult question, it's not a big deal. Please, 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 kindly ask. Okay, everyone. Okay, I will read it. Is it exactly no. Sama Ali, look, Sama Salem, sorry. Look, I want to tell you something. The exam does not depend on specific number of vocabulary words, does not depend on this book or that book. No, it depends on how you can use the language, how professional you are in the language. That does not mean when you read these words or those words or other words, that means that they are going to come in the test. No, no, this is not the way of the IELTS. The IELTS is a full language, but you increase your ability and also you increase the number of the vocabulary words that you know in order to be able to take the score that you are looking for. Or let's say to give yourself the opportunity to take the score. This is the IELTS. We don't have specific words to come in the IELTS. No. But we have specific skills. Let's say this skill, that skill, how to use it, how to be able to answer which tricks you will face in the IELTS. Yes, this is the IELTS test. Okay. But those words will be beneficial for you in the writing and in the speaking. For the reading and the listening, you might have some of these words, you might not have any of them. Others, any more questions? Feel free to ask. Do not hesitate asking. I'm still waiting. Feel free to ask. Okay. Well, thank you very much. We come to the end of our lecture for today, and we will have more lectures also. Kindly, those who have the test to prepare their questions, because I will try my best to answer your questions for the IELTS a day before your test. Thank you very much. That was Mr. حيدر القصير with you. Wish you all the best. You may contact me by messaging me on my Facebook account, or also by messaging me or calling me on 0780 843-8341. That was Mr. Haidar Al-Qasir with you. Wish you all the best. Bye, everyone.